There's a huge shift happening right now in enterprise AI, and it's really not about faster models or bigger data sets anymore. We are seeing a complete overhaul in how we even think about AI in the workplace, and it's happening way faster than anyone thought. So let's dive in and break down what this new frontier really looks like. Can you believe it? Just a year ago, this was the big question in boardrooms everywhere. Should we, use AI? It felt like a big revolutionary question back then. Today, honestly, that question just feels completely out of date. And this is the question for today. See the difference? We've gone from if to how. It's not about should we, it's about how do we control this thing? How do we govern? And really, how do we trust an agent that isn't just spitting out text, but is actively doing things and making decisions inside our company? That's a whole different ballgame. It's way, way more complex. So that leap in complexity, well, that tells you everything. We have officially entered a new era for AI. We're moving on from seeing AI as just another piece of software and into something way more integrated. This is what we're calling the organizational era. And here's the absolute crux of it. Winning with AI is no longer about who has access to the most powerful model. I mean, that's quickly becoming a commodity. The real competitive advantage, the thing that's going to separate the winners from everyone else, is who can build the best organization, the best processes, and the best governance to manage it all. Okay, to really get this, we need to completely reframe how we see AI. Let's try to stop thinking of it as a tool and start thinking of it as, well, a new kind of teammate. And the proof for this is everywhere you look. The tech giants, OpenAI, Microsoft, they're not just fighting over who's number one on some model leaderboard anymore. Their whole focus has pivoted. Now it's all about building the platforms, the infrastructure that let businesses deploy and manage entire fleets of AI agents. The game has totally changed from raw power to enterprise-grade control, which brings us to this really key idea. AI agent as a service. Seriously, forget the little chatbot that pops up in the corner of a website. We're talking about plugging AI agents directly into your core business systems, to approve expenses, manage inventory, talk to customers, and having them operate with the same kinds of permissions, performance reviews, and accountability as any human on your team. And hey, if you think I'm just reading into things, listen to this quote directly from OpenAI's CEO. They are literally building the tools so you can manage AI agents just like you manage your human employees. That one idea, it changes everything about how you need to think about putting AI to work. But okay, if this is the future, why are so many companies hitting a wall? We see all these promising AI projects that just get stuck. They never make it out of the lab. This is what's known as the last mile problem. So just how big of a problem are we talking about? Well, according to a Harvard Business Review study, a staggering 2/3 of enterprise AI projects stall out before they ever leave the pilot phase. Think about that. 2 out of every 3 initiatives. So what's going on here? Well, the main culprit has a name: pilot proliferation. It's what happens when companies get really excited and they launch a dozen different AI experiments all over the place. But there's no master plan. No strategy for how these cool new tools will actually plug into the messy, real-world operations of the business. So the tech works, sure, but the organization just isn't ready to absorb it. And this slide really nails the mindset shift that's needed. On the left, that's the old way. AI is a tech project, it's owned by IT, the focus is just getting the model to be accurate, and governance is something you worry about later. The new way, over on the right, treats AI as an operational change project. The business owns it. The goal isn't a cool pilot, it's scalable value. The focus is redesigning how you work, and governance is built in from the very beginning. It's a move from a cool science experiment to a core business transformation. Okay, so this new way of thinking means we have to talk about governance. Because as these agents get more powerful and more autonomous, the risk of them going rogue, well, it doesn't just grow, it multiplies like crazy. Think about it like this. For decades, IT security was all about building a fortress to keep the bad guys out. But now, the potential risk is already inside the walls. AI governance is about making sure our own intelligent agents don't misuse the power we give them. It's a totally new security challenge. So what does this new governance actually look like in practice? Well, a few things are absolutely critical. First, you need governed memory. This makes sure an agent helping your sales team doesn't accidentally leak sensitive numbers it saw when it was helping the finance team. Second, runtime auditing. You can't just check what an agent is allowed to do. You have to audit the exact steps it actually took. And finally, mandatory compliance checks to test for things like hallucinations, where the AI just makes stuff up, before you let that agent anywhere near real work. All right, this brings us to our final point, and honestly, it might be the most fascinating one. If we're really going to manage AI agents like employees, then maybe we need to start thinking about them like employees, with their own unique skills, and maybe even their own personalities. So, welcome to a brand new job description: AI Model Talent Management. This is a new challenge for leaders, and yeah, even for HR. It's not just about managing people anymore. It's about understanding the unique talent profile of different AI models and making sure you put the right AI on the right job. There was this incredible study out of Japan that found different models have these distinct personalities. So, for example, Claude tends to be very conservative and logical. That makes it perfect for a high-stakes job like refactoring complex code. Gemini, on the other hand, is bold and exploratory, which is great for brainstorming market research or finding new ideas. And GPT, which has been trained on so much user feedback, has a high EQ, making it perfect for customer service. I mean, you wouldn't ask your star accountant to lead a creative brainstorming session, right? The same logic now applies to your AI. So we've covered a lot: the shift from tools to teammates, that tricky last-mile problem, and the new rules for governance and even talent management. All of this leaves you with some really critical questions that you need to be taking back to your team. Here are the 3 big questions for your next leadership meeting. Number 1, where do we draw the line? What tasks are for the AI, and what critical human judgments do we absolutely protect? Number 2, how do we have to change our company? How do we measure performance or staff our teams when there are a mix of humans and AI? And number 3, what are the new rules of the road for an AI agent that works across multiple departments? Who's in charge? Who's accountable? At the end of the day, it all comes down to this: the technology just sets the potential, the technical ceiling of what's possible. But how high your business can actually go, that business ceiling is going to be determined entirely by your organization's ability to adapt and manage this new kind of intelligence. The organizational era of AI is here. The only question left is, are you ready to build for it?